Hi guys, and welcome back to Reads Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And today, I've got my third and final video in the Favorites of All Time series. Well, you may get a couple of other videos past these, but as you can see with the title, this is my favorite series of all time. Now, behind me, I only have the first book in every series, minus one, because I won't hold up book one on that series. But I only have the first book in every series next to me because I felt like that'd be easier to hold up. But I'll tell you what book I prefer in the series, if there's another one in the series that I prefer over, but whatever. I have here 10 favorite series and 5 honorees. Now, I'm going to press it. With some of these honorees, they're still ongoing. 2 of these series could have been on my favorites, but didn't make it, and the other 3 are ongoing series. So unless I've read the full series, they can't go on this list. Minus, there are 2 other series later on that have a spin-off book that I have not read yet, but they belong on this list. So let's just get into this and go from there. So let's go through all the honorees. In my 5th place of the 5 honorees, I'm going to give you the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. This series is a fun ride. This follows Grace. It's like, what's her name? Grace, whose parents mysteriously passed away in a car wreck, and she has to go live with her uncle and her cousin in Alaska and go to the boarding school there, where she meets Jason Vega. And book 1 is a lot like Twilight, I will tell you that, but the rest of the series is not. Where she discovers a world with vampires, werewolves, witches, dragons, gargoyles, and a whole lot more. This series has kept me on the edge of the seat for so long. I cannot wait for the next 2. The next one actually is supposed to go between book 2 and book 1 and book 2, but whatever. And then I can't wait for the finale of the series and then the spin-off series. I need all these characters in my life. So if you have not read Crave, read Crave. I will tell you, book 1 is not my favorite in the series. Book 1 is actually my least favorite in the series because I read this shit. Because I hated the main character in this. But she is so much better in book 2. So I highly recommend this series. Next is the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. Every time I do a reread of this, I only get to like book 10. And then I stop and then I never go back. So I need to finish and catch up with this because she has another one coming out this year. So this follows Mercy Thompson, who is a skinwalker of sorts. But all she can do is snap her fingers, jumps in the air, and she doesn't even snap her fingers, but she jumps in the air and turns into a coyote. She's a were-coyote. This is where she falls in love with a werewolf. Her best friend is a vampire. Her former boss is a fairy. Shit's crazy. Typical adult paranormal series. I absolutely love it. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. And it has my favorite werewolf, one of my favorite werewolves of all time, Warren, gay cowboy werewolf. Gay cowboy werewolf. Enough said. Next is the Bromance Book Club series by Lisa K. Adams. We have book number 5. Book number 5 comes out later this year, and that is a Very Merry Book Miss. Very Merry Bromance, I think. This series follows a group of guys who read romance novels to better understand love and their emotions and to help them in their marriages and relationships. I have not laughed so hard as I do with this series. Listen, I think my favorite one is still gonna go to Vlad the Russian. His book. Then there's Mac's book. Oh, I cannot wait to read The Country Singers. Who's this next? Oh, the series is just a fun time. And it's a series that I don't care how many books she has in it, I will continue buying the books in it. I want 50 million in this series. My next honoree is the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. This series follows three sisters, Chloe, Danny, and Eve. They are all three proud black British women. I will still say Danny will forever be my favorite, because Danny is the black bisexual witch British witch that we did not know we needed. But each book follows one of the sisters as they fall in love. First one follows Red and Chloe. Second one is Zaph and Danny. And I want to say the third one is Eve and Josh. Is it Josh? Jacob. Eve and Jacob. Oh, it's Eve and Jacob. My bad. And there are so many representations in all of these. Like book one has disability representation, I do believe, for fibromyalgia. I think that's what she has. Chronically ill. Just keep calling her chronically ill, but I want to say it's like fibromyalgia. And I know book two has the fake dating trope, bisexuality, pagans, ADHD, depression. I know book three has ADHD and depression and OCD representation and stuff like that. Highly recommend this series if you have not checked it out. And my last of the honorees goes to the Cursebreakers series by Bridget Kimmerer. This one was on this list of my favorites, and then a couple of others knocked it off. But the book one follows Harper and Rin. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where Harper has cerebral palsy. And then it just goes from there. Now let's get into my top 10, which is actually top 11 because the top one spot is taken up by two series, which when we get there, you all will understand. So I'm just going to give y'all a moment to comment down below what you think is my top 10 favorite series of all time. Can you guess my top 5? Don't think you can. Feel like you guys might not know past number 2. This could be very interesting. I would like to hear your comments down below. Let me know. Did you get any of them right? Stuff like that, just let me know. Now let's get into this. In the number 10 slot goes Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan. This is his Norse mythology. This follows Magnus Chase, who is the cousin of Annabeth Chase in the Percy Jackson world, as he passes away and has to go to Valhalla, and he is the son of the Norse god. I don't remember his father's name. I know he's the Norse god of, like, summer. Can't think of his daddy's name. As they try to save the world from Ragnarok. This is a super fun series, and it is my favorite of the Rick Riordans. Next, in number 9 slot. This is probably the hardest series to explain. So I'm just going to give you the gist, and that is the All for the Game series, which I read solely for the fact of Hope from It's Hope's books. I know book 1 was sent to me. I just don't remember who sent it to me because there's no note. I lost the note. And I got books 2 and 3 for 99 cents each. But this book follows Neil Johnston as he's on the run from his father called the Butcher, and they play a game called Exy. This has sports romance, slow burn romance, and mafia elements. This is the weirdest series I think I've ever read, and I'm obsessed. I am Andrell for life. Andrell for life. And I mean life. Read it. In my number 8 spot goes Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. This series follows Aubrey Rose, or Aubrey. Is it Aubrey or Audrey? I want to say it's Aubrey Rose. Audrey Rose Wadsworth, who wants to become a pathologist. And this is where she meets Thomas Cressley, and they have to solve a couple of murders and solve a couple of cases together. Book 1, they're hunting down Jack the Ripper, and has kind of a Frankenstein element thrown in. Book 2 is hunting Prince Dracula, so Dracula and Queen Bathory thrown in. Book 3 is escaping Houdini, and it has like a tarot card kind of element thrown in. And then the final book is set at the World's Fair and kind of ties them all together. I will state Thomas and Audrey are one of my all-time favorite couples. Thomas Cressley is by far probably one of my favorite book boyfriends of all time. Yeah. Just saying. Check it out. And I'm still waiting on my Bookish Box editions to get here. His, Sterling's sister bought them for me. And I cannot wait for the prettiness to get here. In number 7's slot is A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I can't not hold up A Court of Mist and Fury. Court of Mist and Fury almost went on my favorite books of all time list. Do I really need to tell you what ACOTAR's about? Fairy romance. Resand for life. Still need to read Court of Silver Flames. Next is the True Colors series by Annabeth Albert. Book 1 follows Conrad and Alden as they are making a road trip to a convention to play a card game called Odyssey. They are rivals. This is an enemies to lovers romance and the one bed trope. And then book 2. So far there's only 2 in this series, but book 2 follows Jasper and Milo. 2 best friends turn bitter enemies, turn reluctant allies, turn something much, much more. Cosplay, card game, nerdy romance. Do I need to continue? Queer nerd romance? Read it. And let's get to my top 5, which is really 6 books, but 5. In my 5th place is one that y'all probably wouldn't expect to be here, but I can't stop thinking about this series, and that is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. TV show is effing amazing as well. This series follows Diana and Matthew. Diana discovers a book in the library, which now everybody is trying to hunt and kill her because of said book. And this is where she meets Matthew, a vampire, and they fall in love. Did I forget to mention Diana's a witch? And witches and vampires are not supposed to fall in love? This is an amazing series. I understand why some people don't like it. I do get that. It is kind of, this is set like more like Oxford. Book 2 is set a lot in the past. But this series is just so riveting once you dive in. I know you gotta give it like a little bit because of world building and stuff, but once you dive in and all the characters tie together, it just, oh, I love it so much. I highly, highly, highly recommend A Discovery of Witches. In number 4 spot goes the Him series. I don't know if the series actually has a name. Or it's just the Wes and Jamie series. Ooh, we need to get Good Boy and Stay. Didn't know those were a thing. But the series follows Wes and Jamie. Jamie Canning and Ryan Wesley as they play hockey. And former friends turned opponents turned something more. Turned back friends to something more. This is one of the best adult romance series I have ever read, and I will probably reread this all the day I have time. And I know a friend of mine is gifting me the other cover for book 1 so that it'll match. He has Us somewhere, and then Epic is book 3. Just love, 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 love. In my number 3 spot goes the very first queer books that I have ever read. And I discovered this series back in high school. And that is the Rainbow Boys Trilogy by Alex Sanchez. This series follows Jason, Kyle, and Nelson as they go through high school and come to terms with their own sexualities. And I love this series so much because it shows 3 different versions of a queer person. You have Nelson, the out and proud, flaming homosexual. At one of the books, he dyes his hair pink. So it's like he's, hi guys, what's up? Type of gay. Then you have Kyle, the swimmer, the nerd, the little bit more reserved kind of gay. And then you have Jason, who's bisexual. Jason's bisexual. This is one of the best representations of bisexuality. As so he slowly falls in love with Kyle. And I love it. If you ever get a chance to pick these books up, I highly recommend them. I don't know if they stand the test of time. I am hoping to read them this week. This is actually going to be my next physical reads, are this series. As I'm listening to audiobooks all week. For my birthday, I wanted to refresh my mind on some of my favorite queer stories. These are super fast and easy to get through. Book 1 is Rainbow Boys, Book 2 is Rainbow High, and Book 3 is Rainbow Road. I've learned so much about who I am. This is one of those books that taught me who I was, and I will always love it for that. And my number 2 spot goes to the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. So far, the only Cassandra Clare series that I have completed in completion and absolutely loved. If you don't know what Cassandra Clare is, who are you? But this series, in particular, hit me in the gut so well. Will, Tessa, and Jem are the perfect triad of relationships. Tessa and Will belong together. Tessa and Jem belong together for different reasons at different points of their lives and just everything. And this also is a love letter to readers. If you have not read anything by Cassandra Clare, I do highly recommend at least checking this series out. Now, can you guess my top spot, the 2 series in my number 1 spot of all time? I couldn't put one of these over the other. I kept trying and trying and trying and trying, and I can't. But I allowed both of these to be my number 1 spot because one is a book, the other is a graphic novel series. So I figured it works. The graphic novel series is Heartstopper and the Green Creek series by T.J. Klune. So Alice Oseman and T.J. Klune. Go figure. Heartstopper follows Charlie and Nick as they first become friends and slowly fall in love. This is the cutest series I have ever read. The art style is phenomenal. I just need more and more. The TV show is effing amazing. I need a TV show of this. But then you've got the Green Creek series, which is gay werewolves. That's all I'm really gonna say, and that's all I ever tell anybody is gay werewolves. Go read it, check it out. It will punch you in the heart when you least fucking expect it. But yes, my favorite series of all time goes to Green Creek and Heartstopper. I hope you guys loved this video. Comment down below and let me know how many of these series have you read? How many of them have you not read? Did I just convince you to read them because they're on my favorites lists? Are any of these on your favorites lists? I would really love to know what everybody's favorites are, because I think it'd be really cool to read some of your guys' favorite series in the future, and vice versa. Same with book series and stuff like that. And yes, as I preferenced in all the others, I forgot to preference in this one, I do understand that a lot of the stuff that I talked about in these 3 videos are by white authors and very, very white. But I am actively reaching out to more diversity in the future. So who knows in a couple of years what these lists will look like. So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you're new, hit that subscribe and go back and watch my other 2 videos. My favorite authors of all time and my favorite books of all time list. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Remember, kids, always be fabulously yourself. Until next time, bye!